For millennia, humans across the globe have tried to answer the age-old question, how do I get a big back? Through years of science, experience, and advice from local gym bros, this question still seems to be unanswered, until just recently, when one local small back-having Norwegian man made a great discovery. Hi, I'm Bearguy, though some of you know me as that one small back-having Norwegian person man.
Nice.
Though today's topic might seem like a complete joke to you for obvious reasons, I will give you guys a brief explanation to how you should go about getting a big back, at least training-wise, based on some scientific articles, general training knowledge, and my own personal experiences. Though my experiences might be somewhat biased, so I wouldn't look too much into them unless you don't already have some structure in your strength training routine. Now let's start off with the basics of hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is just a fancy schmancy word that some gym bros and scientists use to feel superior. It basically translates to growth in muscle cells, aka gains. To achieve hypertrophy, one must usually externally load the skeletal muscles through a certain range of motion over a certain period of time at a certain intensity, which is what we all do by going to the gym every so often to pump out a few sets of curls every now and again. However, there is much more to achieving hypertrophy than just loading the muscles. For instance, science has shown that higher total training volume at the same intensity usually translates to higher levels of hypertrophy. For example, if you do 3 sets of 12 repetitions on the bench press, over time you will most likely experience less hypertrophy than if you were doing, say, 5 sets of 12 repetitions with the same load and intensity. Though higher training volume usually requires better recovery and usually a higher general fitness level, hence why beginners often start with much fewer sets, it seems that one's muscle cells would respond better to higher volume. Now, what does that mean for your back? Well, the same principle applies to every skeletal muscle in your body, regardless of its location. Though some body parts can naturally handle slightly more training volume than others due to higher levels of slow twitch muscle fibers, for instance, higher volume at a given intensity will still give you more gains. Over to repetitions. Though there isn't a clear consensus among scientists within the field of exercise physiology what number of reps is the most beneficial for hypertrophy, a general advice is to use different rep ranges for different exercises based on the total time under tension and working motion you experience during that exercise. For example, an exercise such as the deadlift, which allows for a very heavy load, as you recruit a lot more motor units and muscle fibers across the entire body, those exercises will usually also fatigue your body a lot more with a lower intensity compared to, say, the lat pull down or the bicep curl. A common thing you will usually see is therefore sets that include maybe 4 to 8 repetitions, while, say, some people will do shrugs and tend to use upwards of 25 repetitions at the same intensity or RPE. So generally my advice will be to have at least one heavily loaded movement in that 4 to 8 rep range, which should include as many motor units as possible, followed by a few exercises with moderate rep ranges between 8 to, say, 20. For example, you could start off with a deadlift or a heavy rowing movement or perhaps a weighted pull-up that could grant high fatigue at low RPEs, and then move on to exercises such as unilateral dumbbell rows, lat pull-downs, face pulls, etc. The third step of successfully getting a big back is programming. So, for any training program, you'd usually want some sort of periodization or progression. Periodization is basically just manipulating different training variables to optimize performance or result from a certain program. This can be done in a plethora of ways, so I'm not gonna go into that much detail on the specific ways of periodization in a training program, as there is also no clear consensus as to what works best for every single person. However, you do want some sort of progressive increases throughout such a program either in the shape of an increased training volume, load, or intensity. You could, for example, utilize weekly increases in loads while remaining at the same total training volume, aka sets and reps per exercise, or you could increase the amount of sets and reps on certain exercises over a longer period of time. So I'm actually gonna put a novice back hypertrophy focused program down below in the description that I made myself for free if anyone wants to use it. It's just 2 days a week, contains basic exercises and a basic programming setup.
Wanna take you to #1, baby.
But as I'll be providing you this program, in return I ask that you leave a like on this video, leave a comment, and maybe even subscribe if you haven't already. Of course you don't have to, but it's always appreciated when you guys leave funny and creative comments for me to read down below. Now I gotta say this video doesn't go anywhere near the specific details I would normally go into when planning specific programs or talking about physiology, periodization, or optimizing performance, but it should give you a decent direction of where to go in terms of getting a big back. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now on to a quick word from today's video sponsor at MyProtein. So today's video sponsor is MyProtein. You will find the link to the store down below in the description. MyProtein is basically the most versatile supplement store available on Earth. They have everything you can think of, every single whey protein flavor, every single pre-workout, every single piece and bit of protein snacks. They even got clothes, they even got like towels, they got a lot of stuff. So if you want to get something from MyProtein, then make sure you go down to the link below in the description and use the code BACK for anywhere between 30 and I believe up to 40% off in some cases. And it should work internationally, so just use that. Use code BACK. Thank you so much MyProtein for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you guys later, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, and by the way, I am not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor!
I am not a certified specialist, I just have a small-ass bachelor's degree in human movement science. So don't take everything I say too seriously, though it should be factually correct.